Hi guys, my name is Todd and I'm here with my gorgeous model Danielle, and today we're going to be showing you how to do a natural everyday look, and then later on after we achieve that look we are going to go further and make it more dramatic for more of a nighttime. But we want to keep it super simple today, super clean, minimal products. So the first thing that I want to do and show you guys is first we have to prep the skin. So right now Danielle does not have any moisturizer on nor lip balm. She is bare. So we gotta get some hydration there. So what I'm gonna do is first, as always, lip balm. So I'm going to prep her lip. I love this lip balm. Super hydrating. You can use any kind, whatever you favor. So we have her nice and prepped. Now, I'm going to go in with a moisturizer. And moisturizer, I'm going to start through the center of the face, and then I'm going to work my way outwards. And do not be afraid to go heavy with the moisturizer. It's always good to have it nice and prepped and hydrated before any makeup application. And don't forget, bring it down the neck onto the body. A little bit on the ear, not in the ear. And you can already see by just prepping that skin, how it's giving more luminosity to the complexion. You can see especially down here, gives more luminosity, just looks healthier. Now, that we have the skin nice and prepped, I like to go in with the brow. You can go any which way that you choose. There is no wrong way when getting started with makeup, but I like to start with prepping and then I go right into the brows. And Danielle, she has really nice brows, so I don't have to do a lot to them. I'm just going to fill in any small gaps that she might have. And also my placement on the applicator as well is also crucial. The closer you are up here to the front, the more product you're going to get and the more saturation that's going to happen with the product. And the further back you are, the less and more feathery the application will be. It's a little insider tip. And then I just comb through the brow as well to make sure there's no area that has more product than the other. Super clean, natural. We're not going for a super arched brow or super pigmented brow. Now that we have the brow nice and filled in, we want to make sure to set the brow. So I'm just going to use a clear brow gel just to tame the brow hairs and keep them in place. Nice, natural, and simple. Now that we have the brows and the skin prep, we are now going to go in with the foundation. I'm just going to hit kind of the center of the face, and then whatever I have left over, I'll just kind of move outwards. So I'm gonna take the foundation. Usually through the center of the face too, we get the redness because it's going to be exposed to the sun. And by just doing that, it's already making a huge difference. And less is always more. And also don't forget the ears as well. Want to make sure it's all nice and cohesive. And if the foundation was too dark, then of course you would want to take it down onto the neck. But in her case, this matches her perfectly, so I don't really need to, but I'll just do it. And I like to bring the foundation up towards the eye as well, almost like a concealer, but I'm just trying to color correct and make sure everything is all one tone. And if you feel like you did too much foundation, you could always go in with a nice beauty blender or a beauty sponge, and you can go in and take off the excess. I always like to do a once over just to make sure everything's nice and blended. And you can see there, looks nice and even. And now, just to give her a little bit of brightness, I'm gonna go in with a lighter concealer, and I'm going to use a brush, just a nice domed kind of brush. And this concealer is about 2 shades lighter than the foundation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply that color right on the inner parts of the eye. And this is instantly going to brighten up that area. And then I'll take it underneath right where her eyeball is. But I'm targeting the color right in here. And then any excess, I just pull outwards. And I slowly build the color. And if you still see any little redness peeking through, you could just go right on top and see there, look forward. You could already see how this side is a little bit brighter. Still looks nice and natural, but it gives that brightness that we're needing to really waken the eyes. And then also I will highlight just with the remaining products through the center of the face. And then once again, just go on top with the sponge just to make sure there are no creasing, no areas unblended. And I'll actually pop some onto the lid as well just to even out that area. And you could use foundation, concealer, or an eye primer to do this step. But I'm keeping it simple, so we're just using the concealer. There we are. And now that we have that, we have the foundation, concealer. I'm going to take a translucent powder on a fluffy brush. And the first thing I'm going to do is, close your eye for me. I'm gonna set the concealer that's on her eyes, since we just applied it. And then I'm going to take the powder underneath the eye to set that concealer and around the mouth. Just normally through the T-zone area. And T-zone is through the forehead, down the nose, Cupid's bow, and chin. And then whatever excess, I just drag outwards. But not a lot of powder at all. Just enough to press in and set that concealer and foundation. And look forward. You can still see she has that nice glow coming from within, but it's not overwhelming at all. Still looks super nice and natural, and she's set. Now, to give a little bit more structure to the face, I'm going to go in with an angled brush and a bronzer. And I'm going to go into a 3 or a W. So I like to start in the forehead. So this would be 1, 2 underneath the cheekbone, and 3 right underneath the jawline. So 1, 2, 3. And then all I'm doing is going back and building the saturation of that bronzer. So now she has a little bit more warmth to her skin and a little bit more structure because we're hitting those points of the face to give more dimension. You could already see the difference between this side and this side. And I use my hand as a palette to see how much saturation I have from the product to make sure I'm not doing too much. Because blending is key and building is the best thing you could do, rather than apply too much product and have to worry about blending away. And then whatever I have left, I'm just going to go down the sides of the nose. And the placements that I'm using for this would be the same thing for contour, except you would just go in with more product to make these areas stand out even more, which I'll go into when we go into the more nighttime look. Now, to give a little blush, since we're focusing on the skin right now, taking just like a peachy, corally blush, and I'm popping right on the outer parts of the face. This is going to give a more lifted look to the skin, and it's going to look super natural. So you could use the 2-finger method, 2 fingers away from the nose, and you have this area right here to play with. So I basically stop where the eyeball is, and I bring it right up in here. And I use my finger just to really kind of melt it in there. And then as a once over, I take the Beauty Blender or Beauty Sponge and just go right on top to make sure it's all nice and blended. And then, just to add a little bit of highlight and glow to her skin is already glowing, but I'm going to incorporate this product because I will be going into the eyes as well. So I'm going to take a more golden kind of highlight that will complement her skin. And I'm just going to take my finger, and this is a powder product, but it blends beautifully with the finger. And I'm just going to hit the high point of her cheekbone. And she has a very predominant cheekbone, so it's easy for me to follow. And I like to go in like a little C or a V shape. The bridge. I like to focus just right here on the center. I don't like to bring it all the way down because usually if we get shiny, it's always at the tip. So I like to just concentrate it right here just to give a little bit more dimension. And a little bit on the Cupid's bow. Perfect. Now we have the complexion nice and done, nice and clean, simple. Now we're going to go into the eyes and keep it nice and simple as well. And how we're going to achieve the eye look is we're going to use the exact same products that we used on her complexion, and we're going to put that onto the eyes. So that way it makes it nice and cohesive and nice and simple. So I'm gonna take that bronzer, the same bronzer we have all over the face, fluffy brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into her crease here and onto her lid. And I'm just gonna buff that all over the lid. This is going to give kind of like a no makeup look. So it's gonna give definition to her eyes without looking like she has a lot of eyeshadow on. And it also, of course, mimics the bronzer we already have on the skin, so it gives that cohesiveness. And I'm making sure just to keep it into the crease and onto the lid, not going any further into the brow. We'll save that for later. See, it gives a nice kind of smokiness almost, but soft and natural. And then to really pop the eye, that same highlighter that we have here on the cheekbones and on the high points of the face, I'm going to take it with my finger, and I'm just going to put it right on the center of her lid. And this is going to give a nice contrast, and we don't have to incorporate 11 other products to achieve the look. Just work with what you have, keep it simple. And I go back with whatever's remaining from the bronzer before, and we just go right on top just to blend. And it kind of gives like a glossy, just glow to the eye without having to add an actual gloss where it's going to break down the product. Just gives a nice glow. And then also, I'll take the same palette and just a lighter shade, and I'm just going to, on a smaller brush, and I'm going to focus it right here on the tear duct of the eye, just to further highlights. And we have that highlight there, and then I'm just going to go once again and blend. So that's the top portion of the eye. And then just to kind of give a little bit more depth, I'm going to take the same bronzer, the smaller brush again, and I'm just going to dust this right underneath the eye, right into the lash line. This is something I like to do on everyone just because it frames the eye better, and it's a nice, softer alternative than a pencil liner. One really good trick that I feel like a lot of people miss out on to make the eyes pop is to curl your lashes. Curling the lashes is really going to lift the lashes up, and it's going to give a bright-eyed look to the eye. So I'm going to ask you actually to do the and the trick is to really get at the root of the lash and make sure to pump 1, 2, and 3. And the eye is nice and done, complexion done. Now we're just gonna add a little bit of a lip to complete the more natural look. And for the lip, I'm just gonna use a neutral lip liner just to give a tint of color. So just smile for me. And I am just lining her lip and also filling it in with the lip liner. And also because we have that lip balm applied, the lip liner is just really gliding right on. And that's a nice natural lip color. So this would be gorgeous everyday kind of running around models. This is a perfect look for going on castings, for meeting a new designer, go-sees, all that good stuff. This is perfect. Keep it nice, simple, and clean. Nothing too dramatic because they want to see you, not the makeup.